Welcome to Techo Guide, the only app designed to help you navigate your college and career journey in the quickest and most affordable way. This podcast is brought to you by EdTechWitty, dedicated to opening doors to higher education and career opportunities for all.
Hey y'all, welcome to our What Would You Do series, where I get to ask professionals unscripted questions about what they would do to overcome obstacles in college and beyond. Hey Professor G, so what would you do if you were treated unfairly on a college campus?
So this could happen every day. So we're not supposed to treat you bad. At a college campus, you are the student, meaning we're supposed to help you change your life, right? But unfortunately, being mistreated on campus happens often, and it can happen anywhere. It can happen while you park your car, right? It could happen, waiting for public transportation. It could happen at the cafeteria. It could happen at the admissions office. It could happen one-on-one with a counselor. You know what I mean? It could happen in the classroom where there's 60 students in the class and one professor. Something insulting was said to you that you felt like, wow, like I'm not supposed to feel this way on a campus, right? Now, when our campus does it to you, right, you now have a right to call us out. And when I see that happen, if it happens to me, the first thing is I'm going to let the person know how they're making me feel. Like, hey, you know what you're saying seems very belittling to me. I'm letting you know, like, what you're saying is starting to really piss me off, right? What you're saying is starting to hurt. Now, I'm letting you know, right? You only do that if you're in a safe environment, right? If you're in an environment where you can have that kind of dialogue, right? In some cases, the offense was so outrageous that you're now in an unsafe environment, right? When you're in an unsafe environment, you need to immediately, right? What I would do is let a counselor know immediately. If a counselor is not available, then I'm going straight to the president's office, right? And when I get to that president's office, I know there's an administrative assistant in that president's office, and that president's assistant is going to hear and see from me the severity of the problems that just happened. Now, I'm going to give you a quick example. This is a true life story that happened to one of my students, right? First generation student, never really had a good high school background, but hey, you come to community college, we accept you. We're going to give you a shot. We're going to let you try to teach you what we can. And a professor, right, in a class, and I think it was a math class, literally wrote on her paper, gave her an F on the test and wrote dumbass. And she came into my office in tears, you know what I mean? And I've already met with her over the last year and a half or whatever, kind of helping her and guiding her through education and through her pathway. And she was just in tears. I'm like, what's going on? I couldn't imagine. I thought it was like something tragic, something happened to the family or something at home, etc. And she goes, no. And she showed me the paper. Oh my God. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Like, really? This is what one of our professors wrote on your paper? Now, again, it's all based on situation. And in this situation, that's just completely unacceptable. I don't care if it was a joke. I don't care if it was meant to be, if they intended that, doesn't matter. It is so unprofessional that it needed to come to a professional for me to then take it to the vice president and the president to immediately address the issues that this individual is doing in terms of his grading policies, right? And that individual, he had to be addressed and eventually was terminated because there was a person who was continuously doing that. It's just we didn't know they were doing that until the students complained, right? So you do need to complain to someone. I would normally do it verbally first and then immediately put it in writing and put it in an email because now it's in writing, and I would then go to the website of the college. I would find the employee directory and then look up all the managers, the deans, the vice presidents, and the president, and I'm gonna send an email to the main person that's above where the department, say for example, financial aid. Say they treated me like hell, right? Okay, well, who's the dean of financial aid? And that person is the one that's going to, and I'm carbon copying the vice president, all the different vice presidents and the president, right? And I'm gonna send it. Sometimes, the problem is a real problem, like the one I just shared with you. Other times, it's like, we didn't treat you like shit. You interpreted we treated you like shit. And then it's a matter of you deciding, do I take it to that next level with the formal grievance? then you can do a formal. You can also, in your last, and kind of the last thing I would tell someone that's really having trouble with an institution is you got to go let the Board of Trustees know, which means that every month by law, each community college district has to have a Board of Trustees meet, right? And anyone, literally anyone that goes to these meetings in the first, like 5, 10, 15 minutes of the meeting, they have to allow for public comment. Because I'm telling you, I would show up, like if my issue is so big beyond just the small stuff and I need to let like the Board of Trustees know, I would show up about 30 minutes early to the next board meeting. You can Google this district board meetings and they have to publish it. I would show up to that board meeting 30 minutes early. I would immediately sign in with the clerk that's up front, where the board sits. There's always someone there, and tell them you want to make a public comment. You got to fill out this quick little card, and you do it early so that you're like the first and second one to make a public comment, because sometimes public comments, you get 100 people in there speaking for 3 minutes each, it's going to be a long meeting, right? So you want to be in the beginning of the public comments so you can address the board with everything that has been happening to you, right? Because you're keeping a log, and you share that in public with those elected officials, right? And I'll bet you if it has to get to that level, there's some serious problems at that institution, because they should have handled your issues at the very beginning when you voiced it in the beginning. And that's the goal, is if we communicate early that you're being treated a certain way, we can address those issues very quickly and address them in a way that's satisfactory to you and satisfactory to the college or the staff person. If it has to get to the board level, now that issue is now huge, right? It wastes a lot of your time and the college's time. So we want to address it early if possible. But there are some cases that are going to have to go to the board, and it all depends on the offense.
Thank you for tuning into Techo Guide, the app focused on bringing you tools and content to help you make better decisions about school, life, and career. We hope this episode has inspired you to pursue and excel in your own educational and career journey. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share.